Hello. Hello. I hope everyone is doing well. So, after all this time of building and prepping, this is it. As you may have known, this is a non-debut stream, or so will I call it. So, what does that mean? So, it means that it is not about me. Rather, it is about my garage, where I live, and how things work inside. So, let's take a little tour around my garage. And before we go on, I do apologize for any moments of speech unintelligibility, so please bear with me. So then again, thank you for being here. My name is Anzu Shirane, and welcome to my garage. So, welcome to those here and after. And then, before we go on, let me move this thing out of the way real quick. Hi, I'm Anzu. So then, oh man. So, where do we start? So as you can see, we're not inside the garage, rather we are in front of it. So then, this has been over 800 hours of work. Over, I don't know, maybe days and weeks and months of preparation. But then here we are now. So then, I'm gonna start by showing you how the front is like. So then, we're gonna flip-flop between two cameras. So then this right here is a work in progress. It is the Jazz Fusion Garage. Some people have been there, but then it is around maybe 80% done. And then what we have here is my garage. I'm just gonna keep on moving forward. So this right here is the garage I've been working on for such a long time. Here we are. We have here Shitterworks Factory by yours truly. So then, this is all I have so far. When I have the time, I will continue building more garages out there. So then right there is my old garage. This is my old warehouse. This is my new garage. And this right here is my new warehouse. So then the thing is, it is around maybe 90% done as well. It will also be streamed shortly after this stream right here. Maybe give it a couple days, maybe a couple weeks. But then, without wasting any time, let's just go to the back. So then this entire garage right here is built with precast concrete slabs. So then we had dimensions of 5 meters by 1 meter, and these are stacked around, what was it, 7 meters high. And then this is the entire back end of the garage. And then let's see here, and this right here is the back end of the warehouse that I'm still working on. And then let's see, what else do we have? We have inclines just for when I park my cars inside. I had to drive either through here or there. But then we're not going to talk about those yet. Maybe a future update will bring more about it. So then, let's just go inside the garage and we'll talk about that. Give me a sec. It's going to take me some time to go into the garage. So I'll be opening the garage in 3, 2, 1. So, hello again. So then this is my garage. At least the shop side of it. There is two parts of the garage. There is the showroom, and there is three parts: the showroom, the shop side, and the living quarters. So then I'm gonna spend some time talking about the shop side, because I think there's more to this part than anywhere else. So then let's just start by walking around real quick. So then let me just grab my camera real quick. So then here we have the one and only, the O2 WRX, otherwise known as the GDA. Right here we have the O4 STI, otherwise known as the GDB. Right here we have the 2018 Camry, otherwise known as the XV70. And here we have the 09 Camry, otherwise known as the XV40. And here is an FL5, which I'm still trying to learn more about as time goes on. But then with this car right here, you know, it won't be here for long, because I do plan on building it and then, you know, maybe have some videos posted about it as time goes on as well. But then it is bone stock, Steelies, the original wheels that's stolen. And then right now I'm kind of on the edge about putting maybe 18s or 19s on it, but maybe most likely 18s, but it's just a thought. So then, you know what? So then since we're here, I mean, some people have been to the old garage, and then some people have been into this garage as well, but very, very few people. But then so far, I am the only one who's in this particular garage in this current update. So then, before I do anything else, you know what, I'm gonna show you a little something. So this right here is my battery-powered air mover. I'm just gonna grab it real quick. I'm gonna put it right here. And then it is gonna expel any of the fumes from the car and take it outside the garage. And then, speaking about that, at least on the other dimension, we're gonna be doing the same thing too. So then, give me one sec. I'm gonna put the camera right here for now. So then, one thing I'd like to show you is that right here, at least on the other dimension, exists another version of this too. As you can see, we have glass, we have metal, we have a roof, and then when you put them all together, you know, it makes a car, and it makes the door as well. We have the front doors right here. We have the rear doors right here as well. Oops. And then we have some side view mirrors right here as well. Well, you know what? Because it does exist, I'm gonna go ahead and start her up as well. So give me a sec. And worry not, because I have placed the air mover right there, so then any of the fumes that is gonna be inside the garage will ultimately get purged out of it as well. So I'll be safe. Give me a sec. So you're gonna be hearing the fan in the background for some time. I hope you don't mind. Then now I'm gonna actually go ahead and turn her on as well. So then I hope you don't mind that as well. The first 5 seconds or so is gonna be really peaky. So then if you're wearing headphones, you might want to lower the volume. At least for now. I hope she's not too loud. I hope she isn't annoying as well. But then as I wait for her to warm up, I have prepared a bunch of notes on the side that I can read off, because there's a chance that I will forget, a few things here and there. So then I'm gonna turn the camera around one more time. So then, what does she have? Let's start with the engine. She has a original EJ205, a 20G TDL4 turbo, 750cc injectors, 255 LPH fuel pump, an STI oil pickup tube, air oil separator, a full turbo back exhaust, and a full STI driveline. And she makes around 287 horsepower to the wheels. And then it's not that bad. At the same time, not the fastest car too. But then I'm here to tell you that I particularly don't like driving fast. I like driving slow. I like taking care of my cars, and I like not beating them to heck, and just keeping them as clean as I can. And then for the interior, we have a full STI interior swap. We have some Bright Stradia 2 front seats, a Shitterworks factory shifter boot conversion, steering wheel, quick release hubs, and stock extensions. So something simple, something not too in your face. Sometimes, sometimes less is more. But I think that's just my opinion. And then what else do we have here? We have for the exterior, we have some Shitterworks factory 70mm wide body, front lip, and a mild rear diffuser, and then that's pretty much how it's like. Nothing too sharp, something aerodynamic, and made in-house as well by yours truly. And then what else do we have? We have, oh, you know, the wheel setup. So then for the wheels, we are running some raised Volk 21C in the spec of 18 by 11, negative 10 offset. The tires are some Federal 595 RSR in the sizing of 295, 30, 18. So then before I repeat myself, every car in here are running extended wheel studs and extended lug nuts as well. And the brakes are most likely the same, but then we have slightly different dimensions and specifications for some of these cars. And then, you know what, let's talk about the brakes. So then for the brakes, we are running what we call a Shitterworks Factory Fat 6F caliper. And then the rotor diameter is the sizing of 360 by 32 millimeters. It is a 10 bolt rotor. And then for the rears, we are running some Shitterworks Factory Normie 4R caliper in the sizing of 330 by 28 millimeters. It is also a 10 bolt rotor as well. And that's pretty much how you spell it. As for suspension, we are running some Shitterworks Factory A1 archetype with the spring rates of 24K front and 20K rear. We are running 5.5 degrees of camber up front and 2.5 degrees of camber on the rear. I think a bit of camber doesn't hurt, and 5 degrees might sound excessive, but I think it looks cool, even with fitted tires like this too. So then that concludes it for the GDA. And then for the GDB, let's see what we have. The GDB has a swapped version 7 EJ207. She is all stock with the exception of a full turbo back exhaust. The interior is has carpets that were donated from the GDA. And then she's also running Bright Stradia 2 front seats. Everything inside the GDA is pretty much the same as the GDB. So then, what do we have? We have Shitterworks Factory shifter boot conversion, steering wheel, quick release hubs, and stock extension. And then we can talk about, let's talk about the exterior. For the exterior, we are running some Shitterworks Factory 70mm wide body, front lip, also a mild diffuser. And what we call, or at least what I call, a jack tail. And then a jack tail has, you know, when I was little, we didn't know what duckbill spoilers were called. So then we called them jack tails for pretty much our entire lives, and then it still carries on to this day as well. So then we're just gonna call it that. And then the yield say, hey, how you doing? Well, I just started over here, and then what you hear in the background is a literal engine and a fan that's removing all the fumes from the garage. So then I've talked about the exterior, so then I'm going to talk about the wheel setup. So let me grab my notes real quick. So then for the wheels, we are running some NK RPF1 RS in a sizing of 18 by 11, negative 7 offset. You know what? I think these are negative 10s. Yeah, they're negative 10s. Tires, like I said, Federal 595 RSR. the sizing of 305/30/18, and then let's see, doing good. How goes the stream? You know what? The stream is going good. I feels good to finally be out here. You know, it's you know, I should have. I was supposed to stream 2 years ago, but I got really sick, and then it feels that it kind of changed me a little bit in terms of how I feel. But then, you know, what better time to do it than now, because, you know, we're here. And then congrats on your first stream. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, don't want to inhale all the exhaust fumes. Yeah, that's why we have the air mover inside of here. It is pulling everything out, and then my car is actually, I would assume, illegal in California. It doesn't have a cat, and for some reason, you know, the fumes are more noticeable without a cat, and I'm not smelling anything right now. I think the air is it is being purged out, you know, quite effectively. I don't smell anything. And, you know, all I can say right now is that, you know, I can take a full breath of air and not feel any lightheadedness. I think that I can go on like this for a long time, but let's not do that, because, you know, the car's running. So then, better late than never. Yeah, absolutely, better late than never. I'm glad that it is today, because if it's not going to be today, then I probably won't be able to do it ever. And yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad it's today. So then we're gonna read off the brake calipers specifications. So then the brake calipers, we have some Shitterworks Factory Fat 6F front caliper in a dimension of 360 by 32 millimeter 12-bolt rotor. The rears are a same Shitterworks Factory Normie 4R caliper in a sizing of 330 by 28 millimeters. It is a 12-bolt rotor. I'm not sure if I said it with the front already, but then it is also a 12-bolt rotor. And then the suspension is the same Shitterworks Factory A1 archetype in a sizing of 18K. I said sizing. I meant in the spring rate of 18K front and 16K rear. And we are running 3.5 degrees of camber front and rear. So then, to give you a little show and tell, it kind of looks like this right here. It is very mild, in my opinion, because there's people out there who, you know, do what they like. There's people out there who run 7, 10 degrees, but you know what? I'm all for that. You know, I like the entire driving my car slow, the entire laid-back life of this entire automotive spirit I'm in. I mean, being a car enthusiast doesn't mean you have to have the fastest car, the coolest car, because if you notice, all the cars in here are they're normal, they're obtainable, well, to an extent. And yeah, I just like normal cars. I like making normal cars look cool. And then Shadow Wolf Arcade. Yo, Shiro date. Yay! Yeah, how goes it? Hope everything's good on your end. Oh yeah, where do I've read you off. Oh, you know what? Before I go on, let me show you yet another thing as well. So then, I'm gonna put my notes away real quick. So then, this right here is my workbench. These are pretty much the parts that I am gonna be putting on these cars. So this right here is the A1 archetype, designed in-house. It is the monotube design, and we'll keep it very low-key for now. It's got Swift springs. We use Swift springs because, not sponsored by the way, mainly because adjustability is just seems to be more on the table. We have camber plates right here that allows for 3 degrees of camber, front positive and negative. And then we have here, this one in particular is actually designed from the XV70 chassis, but then we'll keep it as that. Right here we have what we call the Fat 6F caliper, and then this is the design that I'm most likely gonna keep. It's just that the others, the more I look at it, the more I don't like them. So then we're gonna make more versions of these. These are what they call a radial mount instead of an axial mount, and then it makes retrofitting much easier. And then what else do we have? We have let's see, auto count. Hey, that's right. Auto count. This is Modern Fox. Hello, Modern Fox. And then let's see, what else do we have? Oh, we have give me a sec. We have here what do we call it? The Slim 4R. So then this right here, 4 pistons, smaller diameter, meant for rears only. This right here will most likely not get a redesign, but then however these right here will get a redesign, mainly because of its large and bulky shape. It makes rotor interchangeability a lot harder, mainly because its shape is let's just say it constrains the sizing of the rotors. But you know what? I think she's warmed up for now. The thing I want to do too is that I kind of want to show you how she sounds like. She is ready to be revved, I guess. So give me a sec. I kind of want to show you how she sounds like. I'm gonna put the camera right here. So just so you know, I wasn't banging off redline. I was actually banging off the launch control set at 4,500 RPM. I think that's just safe enough to build boost before launch. But mind you, I've never launched her because they say that these transmissions are made out of glass. I am very well aware of that. So then I try not to drive her as I really should, but people might say that I'm not getting my money's worth, but it doesn't really matter to me because I, in particular, like I said, I like the laid-back lifestyle of this entire car culture. I like driving slow. Rev up her engine. Yeah, how's she sound? I'm thinking that hopefully she's not too loud. Hopefully the volume doesn't peak through your end. But whatever it is, I think she sounds fine. You know, I'll say that, you know, she isn't too loud. She has a more toneful exhaust rather than a loud exhaust, which I prefer. You know, tone over volume is what I always say. But I think right now is a good time to turn her off. So give me a sec. Sounded good, not too loud at all. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad that she doesn't really, hurt your ears. I'm glad that she doesn't, blow your eardrums out of your head. So, I'm glad. Because around here, not too loud. I think that the volume is quite okay. Not enough to make neighbors angry, but enough to make neighbors aware that I'm coming home. That's just how I like it. See you later. I gotta get off for the time being. Well, Modem, thanks for being here. I mean, it helps. It really makes me feel good. So, thank you. Hope you have a good one. So then, let's see. We have here. Let's talk about the XV70. So then, this car is. Oh, you know what? I didn't tell you guys that. So then, the GDA. I drive this car once every month. Maybe particularly at the beginning of every month. And the GDB, I drive it once every 2 months. Yeah, once a month. I'm sorry. Once every 2 weeks. Every weekend. And this is my daily driver. So then, now we're back on track. So then the XV70. Let's talk a little bit about it. I'm gonna grab my notes real quick. We'll talk about. I guess we'll talk about the engine. But then, who in their right mind wants to hear specifications about a Camry engine? I mean, to the average person, they're uninspiring. But then to me, if I can make a Camry a fun car, then a fun car would be a thrilling experience. Like I said, I just like normal cars. So then about the Camry, the XV70. The engine, as you may have known, is all stock. Nothing done with it, just driven normally. We have, instead of having the 2GR V6, I prefer having the 4-cylinder because I particularly don't like driving fast. Like I said, I'm gonna keep emphasizing that. It keeps me in check. It's just how I like it. So then, what else do we have? We have some quad exhaust in the rear. We swapped it out from original to a quad tip. And then, what else do we have? We have the interior. The interior is all stock. Nothing out of the ordinary. Black interior over red interior, in my opinion. Though the red is really cool, I would just say that the red, I'm not sure if it'll last the test of time. I'm not sure if it'll be, I guess, future-proof. The only future-proof red interior car I can think about is the ZS2K, sought after, and I totally understand that. There's blue interior too, but I'm thinking that, now I think about it, I've seen more red interior than blue interior. But when's the last time I've seen an S2K? I don't know. And then, let's see what we have. For the exterior, we are running some ShooterWorks factory 40mm over fenders, front lip, and a mild rear diffuser. And then the side skirts are TRD, paint matched, and I like it just the way it is. Let's see what else we have. We have let's see. For the wheels, we are running it's what they call a squared setup, meaning that all 4 wheels are the same dimensions, including tires as well. So then we are running some work emulsion CR2P in a sizing of 19 by 10 plus 10 offset. Tires are the same Federal 595 RSR in the sizing of 245 35 19. The brakes themselves are the same Fat 6F, but with the larger 380 by 34 millimeter 10 bolt rotor. The rear calipers are the same Normie 4R in a dimension of 360 by 28 millimeters. And to think that the rotors here for the rears are the same size of the fronts of these right here. I call it the 326 power look, where your brake rotors and calipers pretty much fill the entire, the entire inner parts of the wheel. And I think it looks rad. It looks so cool like that. And then what else do we have? Suspension wise, we are running the same ShearWorks factory A1 archetype. The spring rates of 22K front and 20K rear. Yeah, that's pretty stiff for a Camry, but I like it like that. What else do we have? Oh, we are running 4.5 degrees of camber, front and rear, and then we have here the over fenders pretty much to make up for the wheels offset. And then we're also running a clear taillights as well, another mild jack tail. And I think that's about it for the XV40. Did I say 40? XV70. And then now we're gonna talk about the XV40. Let's see what do we have here. The XV40, like I said, is my daily driver. So then, first things first, let's talk about the engine. The engine is the all original and stock unmodified 2AZ FE with over 200,000 miles, or maybe what is it? Over 300,000 kilometers, and it doesn't burn oil, so I'm happy about that. It has, what else does it have? It has a dual exhaust tip to replace the originals, and then the interior is all stock again. For my daily driver, there's no need to modify the interior. I like comfort, despite having the the suspension being super stiff. I kind of like how the car rides like a tank, bounces over everything, and you can feel every single imperfection of a smooth road with this kind of suspension setup. But then again, like I said, that's how I like it. Like I said, she's my daily driver, and she's just really clean. This is, the funny thing about it is that, for as long as I've been driving, I've always been driving a Camry. Everyone that I know kind of knows about it too for some reason. And then, let's see. The exterior, we are looking at same thing, ShearWorks factory, front and rear lip, a mild rear diffuser, side skirts, and we are also running clear taillights as well. And then this is like, I guess what I can call a very mild VIP look. No need to go fast. For wheels, we are running some Advan Racing GT in a sizing of 19 by 10 plus 35 offset. Tires are some Federal 595 RSR in a sizing of 245 35 19. The brakes are very similar to the XV70, however they are, they're pretty much the same. 380 by 34 millimeter 10 bolt rotor. And the rears, same thing. Well, slightly different. The rears are a 330 by 28 millimeter 10 bolt rotor. But the thing is, one of these days I want to fit a 400mm rotor in between the wheels. I'm thinking that Advent Racing GTs are one of the few wheels where you can fit a 400mm rotor under, mainly because of its lack of a drop center, if I'm correct. But it's only what I see on pictures. And then, let's see, suspension. We are running Shitterworks Factory A1 archetype with a spring rates of 24K by 20K. Wait, 24K front and 20K rear, I'm sorry. And then we are running 4 degrees of camber up front and 2.5 degrees of camber on the rear. The thing I can tell you is that I can confirm to you that this wheel setup right here will actually fit like how you see here. And yeah, I wonder how I know. So then, what else do we have? I think I'm still learning about the FL5. There's more to it, but I think we're just gonna leave it like that. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the air mover right now. I'm sure it buzzing in your ear might sound kind of harsh. So I'm gonna go ahead and do you a favor and turn it off for now. So give me a sec. Tadaima, I'm back. Right now there's no more, fan noises in the background. Hopefully you can hear everything much more clearly. So then, I am done talking about the cards. So, where do we start now? We're just gonna, I guess, talk about the rest of the garage. Yeah, we're gonna start by going to the most confined place of the entire garage. We're gonna go into here. So this right here is the utility room. I'm still moving in from my old garage to my new garage now. So over time, everything will start to populate and everything will start to be more cluttered. But that's pretty much natural for every garage anyway. So I'll do my best to keep everything clean and everything to be organized as well. The yield sign. I am back with some s'mores. You know what? I can use some s'mores right now. I've been using a hazelnut spread as a substitute for chocolate, mainly because it's the same essentially, but I can definitely use one right now too. But afterwards, I'm gonna have to do that. Let's see. So then right here is the entire power supply of the entire garage. So then everything here has been researched at a very, I guess you can say, a very surface level amount of information that I've gathered. But then the entire, that looks shocking. Funny thing about that is that there was a time when I was a little kid, and I have stuck a screwdriver into a light bulb socket with it being plugged in. Luckily, I didn't get shocked, but then it pretty much jolted me. How do I say this? It made me more aware of how dangerous electricity is ever since that time. There were sparks involved, But then, you know, never again. I mean, I was like, what, 3 years old? It was a while ago. I've learned my lesson, and then I will make sure that I won't get shocked in this room right here as well. You know, safety first. So then, let's see here. We have... Where do we start? We'll start with this right here. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you is that the entire research, like I said, was very surface level. However, everything else, if I want to look up, you know, more into it, was behind either a math equation or a paywall. So I thought, you know, not today. Maybe, you know, I would love to speak to a professional one day about how to correctly set this up so I can have it in this garage right here. One thing I like doing into the garage is that I won't put anything into the garage unless I understand it. And then there's more to it as I show you, you know, around. So then, what do we have here? So right here. So if I'm correct, I'm gonna stand right here. So behind me right here is the main power of the place, coming through some subterranean cables. Back here is 480 volt 3-phase, and then it supplies power to anything around the garage that needs 480 volt 3-phase, like the air compressor, for example. We also have, what else do we have? We have a giant fan. We have some other stuff, but then HVAC as well, but I'll show you later. Right here is a dedicated 240 volt panel for all things in the garage that requires 240 volt, 1 phase, by the way. And then right here, let's see. This right here is a step-down transformer that turns 480 volts to a usable 240 that the garage would use. And then everything else here is also 240, but then more to it. With this right here, it is 240, but then it is also, you know, from that is taking 120 volt that will supply power to all the receptacles and lights from the shop. This right here is 120 that supplies power to all the lights and receptacles to the showroom unit. And then right here is the also 120 that supplies power to lights and receptacles to the living quarters, which I will show you later. So that's what it does. You know what? That is what it does. Then again, like I said, there's a lot more to this that I just really don't understand too well, but surface level is the key for me. And then, so then if you're bored enough, you can actually follow all these conduit, and they will lead to a receptacle. If not, then they will lead to a light switch that will lead to a light as well. But you know, if you're bored enough. So then we're gonna do one example. So right here, this one right here, the first one, that is 40 volt 3-phase that will be supplying power to the air compressor that we have in the back. So this right here is my air compressor that pretty much, you know, supplies air to the entire shop. So then from here, we have it from here. It's gonna come down to here, and it's gonna come up to the safety switch right here. Notice that this is the only one that's on. I'm still working on the rest, but you know, one day I'm gonna wire them up. And then we're gonna start here. Let's see. Power being supplied to this entire air compressor unit. So this thing is what you call a rotary air compressor. The cool thing about it is that it is as loud as a normal conversation. and it is not as loud as a piston reciprocating air compressor, which startles me all the time every time it turns on. So I'm usually wearing ear protection when I'm around this, an older piston unit. But in here, I don't have to because it just simply hums, and I like that. It does it with, decent air delivery, if I'm correct. And that's why I've just kind of had to have it in this chopper here. The yield sign, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it's very interesting because I love things that are mechanical. I love things that are way too complicated than beyond my understanding. But sometimes it scares me too, and sometimes it makes me think too much about how it works, and I'll sit there contemplating about how it works and then how the inner workings are like. But all I can say is I think they're fine. So then right here, the air compressor, let's see, we have air being drawn in through the back. It's gonna come here, it's gonna go into this reserve tank right here, and then it's not gonna come out here. Rather, it's being blocked by this ball valve right here. And then one way to tell if there is flow within pipes is that if you have a ball valve whose handle is congruent to the path of the pipe, it signifies that it is closed. So right here, it is closed. So then air is not going to travel up here. Rather, it's going to come here. It's going to travel up through this pipe right here. And this right here signifies that flow is going through here. It's going to go through this pre-trap right here. And then it's going to go to the air dryer, which desiccates the air. And then it's going to come here. It's going to go through a series of 4 filters. And then it's going to come out here to be supplied to the rest of the shop through that pipe right there. So then here, no, but it goes up here and throughout the whole thing. So then I've designed this right here mainly because it is, I guess what I call a service loop. Meaning that if anything here needs to be serviced, or if this entire unit over here needs to be serviced, it can simply be bypassed by closing this valve right here and opening this valve right here, and the air can still flow freely to everything in the shop. And then right here is the ball valve for if the entire system needs to be purged of all its air inside. Note to self, don't kick it. The loud thing. So then the pipes will correspond to this right here, and from here it's gonna go to what I call another service loop. So then the service loop right here is pretty much it's kind of like a water purge as well, because any water that doesn't get caught in the water trap will accumulate in the piping, and then will also accumulate at the lowest parts of the piping. So then it's gonna settle here to this ball valve, and every so often I'll come here and purge the water out of the pipes. And then what else do we have? So from here we have that service loop I was talking about. So then in the event where this entire pipe right here needs to be serviced, it can simply be bypassed, meaning that these 2 ball valves right here can be closed, that ball valve right there can be open, and air can still flow freely through the next application. Another thing about the setup is that this is what you call a closed loop, meaning that it's not like a linear system that pretty much has air flowing in one direction. If one tool is using it, the next tool after it is gonna lose a lot of its air supply. So then having a closed loop like this means that air can travel both ways. So then it's more beneficial to everything around here. So then, what do we have here? So then after here, we have air that's coming through a regulator, set to around, 90 psi. And then it's gonna come here to this first sandblaster. And then, if you can, I'm just gonna follow this pipe right here. It's gonna go to this foot switch right here. And then the foot switch is gonna allow air to flow through into the sandblaster, which will, do its job by picking up the sand that's accumulated under this thing, for, you know, parts cleaning and the other stuff that you can use it with. But then this is one of the very few things around here. So then we have sandblaster, we have the tire mount machine, we have a automated what's it called, automated tire inflator. We have our wet media blaster, which is pretty much the same thing like the sandblaster, but then it's just that you have, you know, water in the mix too, and then it makes cleaning just a bit better. It works wonders. And then we have another, so then the pipe pretty much goes around, give me a sec. It goes around this entire, it goes under this entire mezzanine in its loop fashion, so it goes all around here, into there, and into the source right there. So then one thing that's taking air from the supply is also the 4-post lift right here as well. And then we have here a air hose reel. And then I think that's about it for the air supply. The air supply was fun. It was a lot of fun to set up. It was a lot of fun to learn. And then it was also fun to make it, I guess, proper to this entire garage. We're gonna talk about the 2-post lift because I think that, honestly, I kind of had a slight chuckle when I figured out how simple it was and how you know, I guess ingenious it was too. So then when you start with the 2-post lift, you have here a hydraulic pump that pretty much takes fluid from inside the reservoir. And then we're gonna have it here where it splits into a T. So on the bottom it's gonna go to the what they call a power side, and then up here what they call a off side. So then fluid would go here. It's gonna go into a large piston that sits right behind the entire post. And then the post is well, the cylinder pretty much is connected to this entire carrier right here. And then the coolest thing I find about this entire 2-post lift is what they call the equalizing cables or the balancing cables. So the thing about that is that, so in the event where the power side rises faster than the off side, you have something called balancing cables that pretty much tugs along here. So here, if this carrier right here goes up too fast, it's gonna tug along this cable right here. That's a adjustment nut, by the way. And then the cables pretty much goes under the entire post. It's gonna respond to this pulley right here, and it's gonna send itself all the way up to the post. It's gonna correspond to that pulley right there as well. And then it will respond to this cable right here, meaning that if this goes up too fast, it's gonna tug on that cable to tug on this entire carrier to bring it up to speed, and vice versa. So then if this side right here goes up too quickly, it's gonna have its own cable to tug on as well. It's gonna tug on this cable right here. It's gonna send itself through this pulley right here. It's gonna go all the way up through the entire post. It's gonna go down and respond to this pulley, or not pulley, this adjustment nut right here. And that's the thing I find the most fascinating about it. I think it was really simple, but I like it. So then the 4-post lift are here, and then let's see. It is fun to put details into things you find very interesting. Well, you know what? I've definitely min-maxed this entire garage right here, and it's something that I'm really proud of. It's something that it's something that I can always dream of, but experience here, and it kind of has almost the same effect as well. And then what do we have here? We have here the 4-post lift, and then man, where do we start? So then this 4-post lift right here, I've revised it 4 times, and then I've also revised it 4 times, I've scrapped it 4 times, I've spent a lot of time designing my own, I guess, features on it, because looking up and researching how they work was quite a chore too. It was also some very in-depth look about how it works, and then I wanted it to be exactly that. So then, where do we start? I guess we can start. Oh, you know what? We're gonna start here. This right here is the air supply for the 4-post lift. So then it comes here, and then it's gonna go all the way up. It's gonna go over the 2-post lift, and then I've also made some, I guess you can call it a bridge, that pretty much secures the entire flexible holes across. It's gonna go down into this entire into this corner here, and then it's gonna be running through a regulator, which sends air, or 135 psi, to yet another regulator, which if I think about it now, it's kind of pointless, but you know, it's already here. It's gonna send it down to this. This is the release mechanism, which shoots air into a cylinder that pretty much retracts the claws from the ladder that I've designed for this. And then if we're gonna follow it, we're gonna come here. It's gonna go to this little fitting right here, and then from this fitting, it's gonna be going behind the lift. And it's gonna get teed off into every single corner. So then this corner right here has one, and then it's gonna get teed off to this corner right here as well. And then after it gets teed off, it's gonna continue being teed off to the back of the 4-post lift, and it has its own corner here as well. And it also has its own corner right here as well. Let's see. And then we have, I guess the entire hydraulic pump was also really fun to design as well. I had to, I guess, improvise a little bit. Hopefully it works in paper, but I don't know, we'll see. So then we have here the hydraulic pump. It's gonna come here, it's gonna pump fluid through this little elbow right here. It's gonna take it through this flexible line, through this fitting right there. And then it's gonna come here. It's gonna respond to this little elbow over here as well. It's gonna carry fluid through this pipe right here, and then it's gonna carry it through this elbow, all the way down to this very, very long cylinder. So then, when you have fluid that is running through here, it's gonna push the piston backwards, which pulls along this entire cylinder here and onto this. I don't know what they call it, but I'm just gonna call it, I guess, an arm. But then it's gonna pull everything back, and the cables that respond to it are also attached to every single corner as well. And then when it pulls the entire cable, the entire lift, goes up because of it. And then we're gonna follow one of it. So then we're gonna look right here. We have one cable right here that's gonna come from here. It's gonna respond to this it's gonna respond to this pulley right here, which sends its I guess energy to this entire corner right here. And I've also made a I guess what I call an idler to pretty much keep the cables aligned with the pulley. And then same with this right here too. So we're gonna follow this corner right here, and in this corner right here is going to pull everything from here. It's gonna go into this pulley, at least at the top part of it. It's gonna come here, and it's gonna respond to that pulley right here, and then it's gonna come here. It's gonna respond to this pulley right here, which pretty much pulls on this corner right here. Everything being locked onto this adjustment nut right here. And then that's pretty much how it works. I find it really, really fascinating to understand how it works. And then the locking mechanism you know, like I said, it should probably work on paper. It's a pneumatic design rather than a mechanical design. Yeah, that's all I can think about when it comes to this this lifter here. I've showed you the workbench already. Oh, this thing right here. So, So then, you know how I said that I won't put anything inside the garage unless I understand how it works? Thing is, right behind me is something that to this day don't know how it works. I know that it is what they call a pre-action system, and then what essentially is that everything under here is filled with water, and everything above here is filled with air. And then, at least during my research, people say that it has to be balanced with a 1:5 ratio, meaning that for every 5 psi of water, you need 1 psi of air holding everything back. So then there's 200 psi of water going through this entire thing, and you have 40 psi of air that is being delivered through this air compressor to pretty much hold the deluge valve, you know, from keeping the water, you know, from escaping. But that's all I know. There's a lot more to it, but I think that one of these days I want to swap it out for a wet system. But then I think that's gonna need a bit of research too. And funny thing about it is that the research is also behind a paywall. So then I'm not gonna go that far. But one day I'm gonna swap it out, because this right here is a bit too complicated because I haven't wired up the smoke detectors yet. It's a lot of work, so one of these days I will swap it out. What else do we have? We have oh, right here we have, I guess this is what I call the parts collection area. So then right here we have a set of Cosmos wheels, another set of Works CR2P. But then this is the CR2Ps is the sizing of, what is it, 18 by 10.5 plus 3. Ask me how I know. Yeah. The Cosmos are the sizing of 18 by 9.5 plus 10. And over here, another set of DR57 or 57DR. Same. I think the specs are, what is it? 18 by 10.5 plus 12, I think. Yeah. And then right here we have an unboxed set of work wheels, which I want to. One of these days I want to do a hand cam stream where I will finally show you, you know, what's inside the box. Very few people know about it, and it's never been used. I've had it for a very long time, but one of these days. What else do we have here? We have a bunch of miscellaneous parts. I would also love to do a hand cam stream where I show you what's inside all this, all inside this their storage unit or cases. And then here we have a trunk with a S202 spoiler, and we have here a trunk with an STI spoiler. It's for those days where I feel like I want to run either or. But yeah, I think you'll most likely see changes that happen in the garage periodically as well. What else do we have? Right here we have a tire rack with one tire. I'm still moving in, like I said, and I'm gonna have to carry everything in here myself. It's a lot of work, but it'll happen. We have a lifetime supply, well, near lifetime supply of brake cleaner. We have just 2 normal car jacks, and we have here a line array speaker. And so what I always say is that, at least in here, things aren't gonna work if they're not plugged in. So everything here is absolutely plugged in. then again, if you're bored enough, you can trace it, and they will lead to a source, and they will lead to an end as well. What else do we have? We have, oh, you know what? This right here is just a the entire workstation where I keep all my tools. There's no tools that are around because I've ordered them into what they call a order of accessibility, meaning that the first tool that I would reach for is on the very top, and the tools that would least likely to reach for would be on the bottom. But then one thing I've learned about working on cards is that you put the tools back and don't put them down. One thing that I find really odd is that there was a time when I forget what I was doing, but I've oddly lost a 10mm wrench, and then it never hit the floor. It just simply vanished out of nowhere, and then it was the strangest feeling that I can think of because we never found it again. The thing about it is that that's what made me, put my tools back instead of putting tools down. And I think that makes my workflow much better, and I know that I won't lose any tools. But that's just what I do. We have here a emergency eye wash station for those times where I guess when you get brake fluid blasted into your eyes. And then right here we have, we have here the shop bathroom. We have here just a normal toilet. We have here a normal sink. And so like I said, I'm still moving in, and I've been kind of lazy of installing the rest of the doors around the sink that you will find here. One of these days I'm gonna get to it, but it takes time. We'll just have to wait. So then right here is the water source that is being supported on some 2x4s, because on this entire pipe we have what they call an expansion tank that goes into this entire electric water heater. And we have here a safety switch right here that pretty much shuts on and shuts off the electricity if we need it to be. Though I don't know if it's safe to keep it so close to each other. I think that also needs a bit more research as well. I don't know, but what do you think? I think I would. Yeah, I'd like to learn more about it. So then right here we have, what is it? Just a tray with its drainage piping that goes throughout the entire bathroom out here. So then in the event where the water heater fails, if water pools right there, then I can tell, hey, it needs to be serviced. I'm not gonna pull it. I'm not gonna drain it to the drainage systems, mainly because if it fails, then I'll never know. Here we just have another sink for when my hands get really, really dirty, and I much prefer to use this sink right here because this is, I guess, the dirty sink compared to the bathroom sink, which is just a regular or normal sink. And then let's see, we have the entire drainage hooked up as well with the if you're also bored enough, you can follow the entire path of the water source. They will end up to an end as well. So we have here sink, drainage is also hooked up, and we have here what they call an air admittance valve, I think. And then it allows the entire drainage to be able to breathe. And then you can follow the piping that goes through the drywall and the studs right behind it too. And they will lead to everything here. And then we're not gonna follow it, but then we have everything here as well. So this right here is pretty much the entire flow of water. And right here we have the entire drainage system that is also connected to everything as well. Like kitchen sink, toilet, bathroom sink, everything that's within the living quarters. Oh, you know what? Light switches. So then, like I said, every single light switch right here is also connected to a conduit that leads into their junction boxes, and that also leads into their light sources as well. And then, so then I talked about the fire sprinkler system. If you follow it, it goes throughout the entire garage as well. And I just learned that fire sprinklers have what they call a schedule, meaning that every so often the diameter gets smaller just so water can just flow better. I don't know nothing about it, but then I just know that the pipes get smaller as you get further away from the source. So then what else do we have here? We have, you know what? Let's go upstairs. So this right here. Oh, this right here. Alright. So then 462 days without injuries. So my last injury was a hand injury actually. I think I smashed my fingers in between two rotors that I was carrying and putting down. It pretty much crippled me to the point where I wasn't able to tackle my project for a week or so. But then, yeah, that, it wasn't pleasant, and it was, 462 days ago. So the thing is, if you ever see this counter being reset, that only tells you that, somehow I got injured. But only in this garage right here, and not anywhere else. And as you can see, it is also plugged in as well. We have our trash, we have recycle. I recycle more than I throw away trash. I think that's just what I do. And then we have here stairs that goes up into the mezzanine. So then this right here is my living quarters, but then we're not gonna go into there yet. Rather we're gonna come here and we're gonna look at this right here. This right here is where I pretty much wash my clothes. This is the washer. This is the electric dryer. And as you can see, everything here is also hooked up as well. It has its own air admittance valve, its own ball valves, its own hot and cold water sources as well. Right here we have a portable battery, just in case power dies, and just for anything else. Right here we have our 3D printer. 3D printers can be really loud depending on what you're printing, and depending on the speed setting that you've chosen as well. I like to print, and normally I just like printing at normal speed, and quiet mode isn't really all that quiet too, so I just kind of keep it out here where the sound doesn't matter, compared to where if it was in my living quarters, then yeah, I think it would be a real earful. And then, so then right here is just a good view of how everything is like. So then all of this right here is I guess you can call my pride and joy. It's what keeps me sane, if I can call it that. And then, you know what, let's not go inside here yet. But we're gonna go out here, but before I go, I'm gonna have a little water break really quick. I can feel my mouth getting really dry. So, give me a sec. Well, sorry you had to hear that. I didn't expect it to be so loud. But other than that, we're gonna go outside. We're gonna go outside through this door right here. And then, what do we have here? We have here the warehouse that I'm building. It is around 90% done. And then, as you can see, the buildings here have their own gas sources as well. I believe this thing provides what? 1 million BTUs of thermal energy? I don't know, I have no idea. But then what I'm standing on right here is what they call a roof access stair. So then right here it is permanently fixed to the garage, meaning that we can actually go up and down the roof. There's more to it too. So then here is gonna be a work in progress that I'm gonna build something here one day. In there too. And work in progress, almost done, but then it'll be there soon enough, hopefully. And then what do we have here? So right here we have the rooftop unit HVAC, which pretty much supplies, you know, like all the air conditioning to the showroom side of the garage. And then not the shop side. For the shop, we are running ventilation through this, what they call an upblast ventilator. It does one thing only, just to pull hot air out of the shop. But sometimes when it gets hot, I find it to be kind of ineffective. But one of these days, I'm gonna replace that thing with the same rooftop unit that we find right here. So what else do we have? We have our gas line right here. We have our gas line that comes here. It's gonna come through this little ball valve, and it's gonna go through this drip leg right here, and it's gonna go through a regulator. It's gonna drop down again and go into the hot side of the rooftop unit. We have here, what is it? A condensate drain. It's gonna be, you can have water that fills up all over here into this little, what they call a P-trap, and then it's gonna drain right here into the roof drain, which I will talk about in a little bit. Right here is like the rooftop unit is one of the few things that draws 40 volt 3-phase from the shop, and it goes right here. You know, it has its own safety switch as well. And then one thing I've learned is that you're not supposed to have piping that sits on the roof. Rather, they're supposed to be elevated. So then I've made this, I guess I can call it risers. The risers keep the pipes off the roof, mainly because, you know, you can have rainwater that comes in, keeps it damp all the time, and it'll eventually start rusting. But not this way right here. But then they should last much longer with the risers. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you is that right here we have a T-joint that will take the gas from its entire supply and is going to take it down into this rooftop, well, not rooftop, I'm sorry, what do you call it? A infrared tube heater. This right here is your intake for the infrared tube heater, and this right here is the exhaust of it. And then, you know, when we get back under the stairs, I'll show you how it's like. So then, one thing about this place is that you realize that this entire roof right here is of a dark color. So then, let's see. What I've learned is that this entire roof is coated with something called a EDPM membrane. It keeps water out. It pretty much keeps everything watertight. And then along the EDPM membrane is what they call a parapet wall. Is a wall that extends slightly beyond the wall of the building. And right here we have what they call a parapet coping, which is pretty much like a cap that keeps pretty much keeps everything sealed. So then that's all I know so far. And then one thing I've also learned is that we have here what they call a primary drain and a secondary drain. So let's just assume that this entire roof right here is completely not flat, but then has some sort of, I guess, slope to it. So then when you have a slope, you have water that's going to come into this little divot right here. And then we have here the primary drain. is gonna keep the vegetation and everything out where only water can get inside. And here we call it the secondary drain, mainly because in the event where water does exceed this level right here, it's gonna go ahead and drain into the secondary pipe. And then they have their I guess their drain point as well. So we're gonna go back downstairs real quick. So if we come here, so this thing right here is the this right here is the infrared tube heater. So the cool thing about it is that if you've ever been under one of those, you know, it pretty much heats up the objects, and the objects heats up the air. Kind of feels like this. It's a little, I guess you can say, is it radiates heat rather than heating the air that heats you. And I find that being under that just ends up it keeps me warmer than traditional air, I guess, air methods. So that's why I had to have one of this inside the garage. It wasn't much to design, but I'm glad to put it inside here. We're gonna continue going downstairs. I'm gonna close this door over here too. And then let's see, what else oh, you know what? I didn't show you the mezzanine yet. So then the thing is, the mezzanine is it's pretty much my favorite part of this entire garage. It gives me this very, I guess, this very childlike feeling of excitement when you know that you're on a higher level, but then there's no barriers around you, so you can see everything around you. But that's just me. So then, yeah, not sponsored. We have here a shipment of raised wheels. Since I'm here alone, I pretty much carry everything upstairs myself. Not at one go, so then every time I go upstairs, I'd usually carry one box at a time. So moving all this upstairs might take a couple days, just so I don't really, tire myself out. But then we're gonna continue going upstairs. Right here. Now we reach the top. Light switch, receptacles. So we're not gonna go through this door right here yet. And right here is pretty much the, I guess we can say, a surplus of supplies that I have around here. Not sponsored by any one of these, though it will be really cool to be one of these days. I don't know, we'll see. Work wheels. Radiator given to me by my friends. We have seat rails. We have some more raised wheels right here. But then, however, here, Shitterworks Factory by yours truly. If you're bored enough, you can read off the utilization. So then right here, we have coilovers for a ZN8. We have here coilovers for GD bodies or GD chassis. And so on and so on. Buddy Club seats. Yeah, not sponsored. Here we have, I guess the dining area. So then, a lot of times when we're here, one of my favorite things about the entire car culture is that when you take a break and then everyone gets food and everyone eats together, and the conversations that happens gives you, I guess, a lot of ideas, and it gives you motivation to work on your next project. And then those parts are pretty much one of my favorite things about living this entire car life. The food that we share is usually the best, but then, yeah, it's something very sentimental to me, I guess. And then we have here a refrigerator, a microwave that I've stood on, that is stood on 2x4s. I'm still moving in, so then the refrigerator is empty for now. I hope to to bring more food inside. But that'll be for a future day. What else do we have here? So then everything is plugged in, including the video player. So then right here we have a sofa. We have drum thrones right here because I personally like drum thrones a lot better as a seat, mainly because they have a very small footprint. I'm sorry. And then right behind me is is where we relax, chill out, and watch whatever videos are being played. So then right here we have I don't know. We have we have WECFest 2023 that's being played in the background. You know, it is one of my dreams to build a car cool enough to actually be here one of these days. It's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of time, but I'd like to make it happen one of these days. And I would love to, I don't know, maybe I can stream out there too. Who knows? So then right behind me, what do we have? We have a 3 series. We have, oh, you know what? Regretfully, I don't know much about European cards. But then JDM cards, Japanese cards, is my bread and butter. S14, R32 in the back. All amazing cards. But one of these days, we're gonna have to talk about them too. Then what else do we have? So then, you know what? I think I've shown you pretty much the entire shop side of the garage. So let's go ahead and see the showroom side. We're gonna go down the stairs. We're gonna keep on walking over here, and then beyond here is the showroom. So then, before I do anything, I'm gonna take a sip of water. Again, I hope you don't mind the noises. Excuse me. So then, what do we have here? The entire showroom side. So then, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this garage right here, or I guess what they call a vertical sliding wall. So 3, 2, 1, open. So, hello again. This is the showroom side. So then the purpose of this entire side right here is to have it as a car visualizer. What I mean is that if you in particular want, oh no, what just happened with my tracking? I'm sorry. So then let's just say, for example, you want to get one of these right here, a what they call a VB chassis WRX, but you don't know what kind of wheels you want on it, or you don't know how the fitment will work. You come here and you pretty much determine the fitment yourself. So then let me show you real quick. So then a bit of a hot take, or maybe some people can say lukewarm take, is that I find that the VB body chassis is the best design in WRX out there if they were colored in a one-tone way. But that's just me. You can fight me all you want, but I think that's just how I feel about them. So then this right here is the VB chassis, otherwise known as the 2022 WRX. What do we have on it? We have 57DR wheels. We have, oh, you know what? I never explained to you why some cars have a 12-bolt rotor and a 10-bolt rotor. So then the thing about that is that So then we're gonna look at this right here. So then we have 5 spokes, 5 lug holes, and 10 bolts. And if you can see, the bolts pretty much line up behind the spoke and alongside the punches. And then I think it gives me it's a very clean look that pretty much satisfies my, I guess I can call it OCD, low key. And then 10 bolts, 5 spoke. That's just how I like it. And then here we have 6 spokes and 12 bolts. So then as you can see, the bolts line up behind all the spokes as well. Everything just kind of looks even, and that satisfies me. Oh, you know, one thing I didn't tell you guys is that, so then one thing I really like about the way I modify these cars is that I like it to where only the front hangs low and there's nothing on the rears, nothing on the side and the rear. You know, there's a mild diffuser here, but then it doesn't really intrude much with the car's height. So then the front hangs low, and then the sides are just original. The rear is also you know, original as well. Like I said, it has a mild rear diffuser. It doesn't look like nothing too aggressive. Not like, you know, nothing that makes the car look like you're trying to harvest corn. But I think I've probably said it too far. And then these cars right here are, I guess they call it kit low. And that's fine too. They're not particularly fast cars, so I don't mind this look right here. But then something with a bit more power, I like this look right here. Kind of makes me think of the I guess the JGTC or GT500 look. And then I pretty much carried the same design language to these cars right here as well. So then the VB chassis has a front lip made in-house, original design, I guess, that hangs low with nothing on the side and nothing on the rear. And then what else do we have? We have these are 70mm fender flares that pretty much takes the stock trim and widen it to give it this look right here. And then if I were to ever have a VB chassis, this right here is exactly what I would do. I think this is a good look. Sure, the car has camber, but then that keeps me from driving fast and breaking traffic laws. So it keeps me grounded, you can say it like that. Jack tail, we have nothing on the rear yet, though I will show you what we can do with this entire place right here. So then right here we have a ZN8, otherwise known as a GR86. Same design language, only the front hangs low. We have widened fender flares. I think these are, 40mm? And then we have some large brakes, 360mm. Same with the VB chassis as well. So then, yeah, nothing on the side and nothing on the rear. And it has another, jack tail right there as well. It is hard to have a original design with these, mainly because they're also similar. But they all serve the same purpose no matter what design they are. Let me show you, what I do with it. So this right here is what I call the car adjustment panel. So then these charts right here are stanced as is, mainly because of the settings that I've developed with this right here. So then, meaning that if I want to lower the ride height, I can do it as is right here. When we give it more camber, I can do it as is, offset, and the rest is like that as well.
If I want to change wheels, I can. If I want to change the vehicle color, I can as well. Tire size, wheel color, aero, some brake adjustments as well. It's all here. But then it is still very limited because it is a lot of work to have everything implemented in here. So then both cards have the same settings, but then with different aero. The thing about it is that if you want to change your wheel setting, you're gonna have to turn one off and turn the other one on. Like for example, you know what? I'm gonna bring this with me. So then again, not sponsored by any one of these wheels. I don't want to sound like I'm shilling or anything, but you know, I just love the design of all of these. So then if I want to choose, for example, if I want to throw some RPF1 RS on them, I would have to turn it on. So I would have to turn this right here on and turn that one off. Because, yeah, sometimes coding is hard, and I don't understand it enough too. So then I would turn one on and turn one off, and then there we have it. We have this car with RPF1 RS's fully installed, and then if I want to change the height, I can dump it like a bagged car. It's in a clip, so then we countered that by adding camber. So let's just give that a little bit of camber. And then we're gonna have the offset go in. So we're gonna change the offset like this right here. And then just like that, we have a car that is fully bagged without installing anything. So that's just my little, I guess, car visualizer that I've always wanted to have in here. So then it's going to need a lot of work, and if you have a party in here, it is best that everyone comes inside the garage all at the same time, and then you can adjust it, mainly because if one comes in late, it means that they're gonna see the car differently from you. But then I may need some help with that, but you know, one of these days I'm gonna have to reach out. But yeah, that's all I have for now, at least with this entire car panel. So I'm gonna revert the car back to its original setting that I had it. So then, so I think I had the height at slightly halfway, or slightly below half. The camber was set at, what was it? Yeah, around 6.5 degrees. Front offset would be set to slightly higher than what the front camber is set at. And then wheels, I'm gonna go back to some CE28s, and then there we have it. Once again, 10 bolt rotor and 10 spoke wheel. Here we have 6 spoke wheel, 12 bolt rotor, and that's just how I like it. So then, where do we start again? Oh, you know what? Let's go into every individual rooms we have here. This right here is the showroom bathroom. It's just for, you know, if you don't want to go anywhere else, you can come into here. Handlebars properly mounted. At least I hope so. We have more sinks that doesn't have their doors yet. Still moving in. Kind of lazy to install it. And then we have here, is it a mirror? So yeah, hello again. What else do we have? We have here a point of sale counter. So if anyone's wondering, this is my small business, my small mom and pop shop, but not mom and pop shop. It's just me. I hadn't had a customer in a long time. I'm the only one here. So how did this place stay open? I don't know. Only the darkness knows. I mean, I do work a second job to keep the lights on here, but sometimes if you need to go out to go, you know, if I need to work, I do need to work, then I'll just do it as is, just so I can keep this entire place just so I can keep the lights open around here. So then, well, one reason to why I never have a customer in here is because I have a perpetual blue screen of death on my point of sale counter. And right here, if I'm bored, I'm always bored. I'll watch I'll put on videos, same video, different streams. And then, and we have here, we have, you know what? I am drawing a blank right now, mainly because I am thinking too much. But when's the last time I've seen an R32 like that? And then, ooh, this is it's a legacy wagon with that looks like a M5 front end, I guess. And then 280Z. So what do we have there? Some TE37V wheels. And then what is this? A FK8 with some Rega Master wheels. And then what else do we have? Another FK8. Does that also have Rega Master wheels? Yeah, it does, with some meaty fitted tires as well. So, yeah, I love cars. If you haven't noticed already, I do. So then, I don't know if I have permission, but I must give this channel over here a shout out. The channel name is DIY with Masa the Cat. I've seen maybe 98% of their videos. It is about the human and the cat Masa, who pretty much goes out there and camps around Japan. And the reason why I do want to give him a shout out is because the entire time of me working on this garage right here, I've had their videos being played all the time. And sometimes, you know, I like videos that makes me feel like I am unplugged from the internet. Nothing too flashy and nothing too hyper edited, I guess. And these videos, like in this channel over here, kind of fulfills the feeling of, you know, being unplugged. And that's all I have to say about the channel. What else do we have? We have here a mini computer, and everything here is all plugged in. It's gonna go through this receptacle right here. But that's it for now, at least with this entire counter. I plan on moving all the business aspect of this garage into another garage. That's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of work as well. But I'll get to it when I get to it. So then right here we have a doorway. It's gonna lead into this office right here. And this office right here is same video, different stream. And we have here all the work I have put on, you know, that I've done already. So I have 5 garages that I have worked on so far. However, 3 are public and 2 are not. And one of these days, the other 2 will be public, but just not now. Right here we have just another PC. The PC just for this, just so I can use it in this room right here. I cannot tell you what's inside it because I don't remember. Mainly because I've built this PC maybe 3 years ago. But then the only thing I can tell you is that I'm running at 3080, and then that's about it. And then what else do we have? We have a wardrobe here for miscellaneous items. We have here a filing cabinet also for miscellaneous items. What else do we have? Oh, you know what? I didn't show you the trophy room. or at least what I call the trophy room. So here is a bunch of wheels. I like collecting wheels, and you know, I keep saying it makes me happy. And you know, you have people who collect shoes. You have people out there who collects, you know, anything. I particularly like collecting wheels, and I would like to use them someday, but not now. Here is a couch for when I doom scroll, and you know, as I look at all my trophies. And so then another thing about this place is that all the ceiling tiles around here are not on yet, mainly because they're on back order. And just for a couple of weeks, you're gonna see the exposed drop ceiling with everything inside there. You know, it kind of takes time to get used to, but you know, one of these days I'm gonna cover them with the ceiling tiles. And then what else do we have here? Nothing else here, I think. But I am running out of ideas of what to do with this place right here. But I think it needs maybe one more makeover in order for me to be, I guess, satisfied with it. It's gonna be a future update, so we're just gonna have to wait. So then right here, we're gonna go upstairs. And then I'm gonna respawn the panel back. And there it is. Oh, you know, so then, do you remember how I told you that when you are in the utility room, all the conduit is connected to something? So then right here we have all the power that is being distributed around the entire shop. So right here we have some conduit body that allows the conduit to go through the walls, and then they're going to respond to here, and they continue around the entire garage. It was a lot of work, but I was, I guess, very particular about it. But I like the details about it. So then here we have... it's just an empty room. Honestly, I don't know what to do with it yet. So then it remains empty, and it may remain empty for the next, I don't know. Who knows how long? But then I have no idea what to do with this room yet. Could be a sitting area. Could be, you know what, I have no idea. So then we have here, which is another favorite part of my plate. It's also one of the favorite parts of my entire garage. This is, I guess, what I call the bridge. And then the bridge right here connects you to some vending machines. Though I think these vending machines are meant to belong outdoors and not indoors. And then right here we have just tables and chairs for when you want to, you know, sit, talk, loiter, drink, or not alcohol at least. Whatever these machines right here provide. And you have a pretty good view of everything down here as well. Now, I really like this view right here, mainly because you can just see cars from a different angle, and it is not every day that you see cars at the roof level. And then, you know what? Oh, you know what? I didn't talk about the HVAC yet. So then, a lot of times, people don't pay attention to it too much. But I particularly like having them up, mainly because, you know, it makes me feel that the garage is more complete. So then the source is just down there. Give me a sec. One more thing is that I don't know if the exit signage is placed correctly as well. I do know that they all point to the nearest exit. So then you have one right here. It points over here. And it's gonna point itself to this door over here. It's gonna point to here. And then it will point to the exit. Oh, another thing is that, so when I started this stream right here, we started at the front. So then right here, what I'm looking at is the actual front entrance. So then I'm gonna open this door over here. And here we are. This is exactly where we began. Though, I think this entire front end of the shop is a little lacking. Bury the elephant. Oh, how long were you here? I have no idea. I wasn't. I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at chat. Hey, woo, and then there's a heart. Hey, I appreciate. I'm sorry. I'm talking too fast. I do appreciate you being here. It makes me happy that that somebody, at least one person, is around here, because it shows me that some people are curious. Bury the elephant just got here. Well, you know what? I think if I was going to explain everything to you, it would take another maybe 2 hours or so. And that is a lot of time. But then hopefully you watch the VOD and you can see exactly where you have caught up. But then again, we're gonna go inside again. We're gonna, let's see. So then, let's see, that right there is the source of the HVAC. So then, alright, we have, I believe this right here is the supply, and this right here is the return. And then, once again, if you're bored enough, you can trace the entire ductwork through the entire building. And they have their endpoints as well. And then I think for now we can talk about the living quarters and and see how it's like. So then let's go upstairs. And now we can actually, we can finally go through the door right here. There's not much. I don't need much to live happily. The irony is that I might say that, but then this garage is huge, and I think that keeps me sane. So, as for the living quarters, let's go inside. So then right here, we have a TV that is somehow set too high. I think I'm gonna have to lower it one of these days because my neck will be in pain if I sit here too long. And then we have here tiny table, tiny couch, and tiny kitchen island. Though everything around here is, as you can see, very, very tiny. So then, when I designed this couch right here, the first thing I thought about was it 99 Toyota Tacoma pre-runner. So as a kid, my dad had one of those, and then you had the smallest seats in the back that were at a 90-degree angle. Surprisingly, it wasn't uncomfortable for us, mainly because we moved around a lot. But then seeing this right here kind of brings back a lot of memories because, it's the car that we all grew up in. So this is kind of like a little homage to the Tacoma, which is a great car. And then right here we have, we have keys to the GDA, keys to the GDB, keys to the XV40, keys to the XV70. And here's my ID that I take to work and back every single day. Otherwise, I'd be locked out from the office. And then, So then, what do we have here? We have, sure, the kitchen might be tiny, but then I have a sink that is way too big. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm gonna downsize it because I don't think I cook that much. And then what else do we have? We have a empty refrigerator, so nothing here. Still moving in. Nothing here. Though it does work. It is very cold with nothing in there yet. But, you know, it works. So then here, you know, I actually had the time to install the doors to the counters. And then right here we have the countertops, which I store, you know, like food, dishes, and stuff like that. Since I'm the only one here alone, I don't need much dishes anyways. There's only a few in there. Right here, we have a window that is also functional as well. So then, let's see. And right here provides us a great view of the entire shop. And then a lot of times when I'm here and I have my morning breakfast, I like to stand here and pretty much plan my entire day instead of sitting down and, you know, watching whatever I put on the television. So this right here gives me a lot of time to brainstorm, but you know, it's usually only the mornings. I think that's about it. That's about it for this entire place. So then, what else do we have? We have here the tiny toilet room. We have here, I guess what I call a JDM toilet or a bidet. And it was a sink counter that still isn't hooked up yet, or that isn't, you know, that doesn't have its doors installed yet. And then we have here the bathroom or the shower room with a sliding door. Oh, you know what? One thing I am particularly proud of too is just this door right here. So then I don't think I've ever seen a door that collapses into itself as it opens, just so you can save a lot more room. But then I tell you that it saves a lot of room for this bathroom at least. You know, it works, and you know, and I quite like it. I'm proud of it. Though it is just a door. And then here, then again, sink without its counter doors. We have here a actually sizable shower. So in my old garage, I had a tiny bathtub, but realizing that when's the last time I've taken a bath? So I just had to. So that's when I knew that I had to change it out for just a bigger, more functional shower. So the thing about this place is that there's no ceiling tiles yet. So then I have to refrain myself from using hot water, just so any moisture doesn't go up into the drop ceiling and gets trapped there once the ceiling tile comes in. So then in order to really prove a point to myself, I have right here, I have shut off the hot water just so I don't accidentally use it. But then we're gonna have to, I guess I'm gonna have to bear with it, maybe just a few more days, or sadly maybe a couple more weeks until I can get the entire ceiling sealed up. What else do I have? And I think that's it for the bathrooms. So then right here is the last place of the garage. It is my bedroom where all the magic happens. So then what do we have? We have here my bedroom. Just a simple twin-size bed. I don't think I need any bed that is bigger. Though I would say that I can definitely downsize the bed too, because it's kind of big for one person. But then again, you know, I'm just gonna keep it as is because it's already up here. It took a lot of work to get it up here, so that's fine. And then we have noise suppressant foam. I guess that's what they call it. Or I think I'm just thinking too fast, and that's probably not what they call it. And then we have here my other station, the place where all the magic happens. So then we have gaming chair, another PC, It is very similar to the one downstairs in the office, but it just does different things. So then here we have my, I guess what I call my proof of work, and it is all here. And then everything here is hooked up. All the wires hopefully are hooked up correctly. And then the monitor stand. When I was designing the monitor stand, the first thing I thought about was, hey, you know, how can I what car related thing can I inspire off of? And then coilovers. Somehow coilovers are the only height adjusting thing I can think about. So then same with this right here. You have height adjustment through spanners or through lock rings, just like a traditional coilover as well. But I think that is, oh, I have one more thing. We have here a closet. You know, it's empty, and a lot of my stuff is still at the old garage that I would transport here, but it's gonna take a lot of time. So it remains empty for now, but then everything about it is simple, I guess. So here I guess this is where I'm gonna put all my things that I think are interesting to me, like my manga, my other collections, and right here we have, you know, just a cubby, I guess I don't know what they call it, but then at least in very, very early life, we called it cubby holes. And then right here, I'll probably build some shelving for my clothes. And right here we have a mirror, so hi there. And then of course, light switch, and know that the light switch are actually hooked up too. You have conduits that are still running through the entire drop ceiling. And then here we have, so when I wake up every morning, I like to stare outside this window over here, because this provides a view of the showroom. And I pretty much see this every day. And this right here is something that helps me plan out my day as well. But yeah, you know, I think that's about it. I think we've seen all the small details. We've seen almost every corner of this entire place. Though I would say that there's a lot more small details of everything, but it would mean that this entire stream would be maybe 4 or 5 hours long. So we're not gonna make it that long. Instead, I think I'm gonna end it here, because I've pretty much talked about everything that this garage has offered. But I wouldn't want this to last another 2 hours. I think we'll end it here. So this is pretty much my entire garage that I've made within the past, get this, 3 months. Though, you know what? I've finished this garage right here maybe around 2 months ago, at the time of this date right here, at the time of this first stream. And then the other 2 months was spent preparing and pretty much remodeling my other garage. But that we will see later, one of these days. And then what else do we have? You know what? I gotta stop saying that, because there is nothing else for me to show you. There will be many updates around here, and hopefully when time goes on, this place is gonna get packed to the point where I cannot fit any more of the things. Because my old garage was rebuilt because I found that I pretty much outlived it, or outgrew it. And then remodeling everything was the best thing to do, because my old garage was also a sunken cost fallacy, meaning that, you know, I've made everything already and I might as well keep on going, but then it just didn't work. And then I designed everything here on better knowledge of how to create things. And yeah, this is all we have so far. I hope to keep updating this place to where I am, to where it's something I'm really proud of. But how long would it take? Will it be a couple months? A year? Maybe something beyond a year? I don't know. But you know what? I think, then again, for my third time, I'm gonna end it right here for good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fly the camera beyond here, and then, yeah, give me a sec. I think right here is good. So one more time, this is my garage. Thank you for touring with me, those here and after. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope you learned at least a thing or two about my very rough explanation about how things work. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being a very early adopter of this chapter that I am opening up. It was a lot of work, and I'm happy to finally show it to everyone. This is something I'm really proud of. It might not be much to some people, but me personally, it is a goal that I didn't think that would, that would follow through with. So yeah, thank you again. Thank you so much for watching. So I'm gonna end it right here. We'll do this again. So then again, bye. Good night, everyone. Till next time.